Wow. It's even coming through the right hole receptor.
Yes. New year, new us, or same us? Maybe a little bit of
I
both.
guess.
Can we have it both ways?
Like a bisexual. Yeah,
Hot.
so all right. Well, the lag issue has not been resolved. So we cannot get too greedy.
Oh, it's
But
still
you know what?
laggy. Okay.
A little bit. I'm wondering. Now I'm afraid to make this concession because right now I have internet as we see. And the thing with internet troubles is you always go, "Oh, something's wrong." Well, what's wrong? I don't know. It could be a myriad of things. The same goes
Sure.
for like when I call IT at work. It's always some guy who's just kind of slightly better at computers that goes, all right, well, let's look into this." And a lot of times I have gotten them to say, "Huh, yeah, I don't really know what's going on here." And like they'll just trial and error stuff. So like I think IT guys, a lot of them, maybe at least that work for corporations, just kind of go, "I don't know." So my thought is my modem too old? And I tried researching that. And Google's, of course, I'm looking at trying to look at reliable forums. Reddit is usually a go-to because there are geniuses tucked away in Reddit.
There are.
Um, and it's kind of like, yeah, generally you should replace it every 2 to 3 years, maybe every 5. I mean, a good one, I guess, could theoretically go to like 8 to 10. And I'm like, well, I don't know any of like this is too large of a gap for me to know. So, but buying a new modem, if it doesn't fix it, I will have literally just bought a new modem for no reason. So
Dude,
I'm
lean into the
hesitant.
fear. Lean into the fear. Just,
So I think I might buy a new modem. Now, then I have to understand what how much better am I supposed to get? How good do I have now? How much do I need? So I don't know.
dude, it's got to be a
But that
work
might be on the
write-off or
docket because
something.
my modem is over 5 years old.
That's too
I
old.
bought it when I came to New Jersey. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. You get it and you hook it up, and I feel like you've accomplished a New Year's goal or something already. Write it off
Yeah.
as a work expense, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
get real adulty about it.
I don't know what we mean when we say write things off for
I
our
don't
work
know either. I
expense.
just
That
say
is
it.
just a term. No one actually knows what that means. It's a
Is this
work
the year
expense.
we
People
find
always
out?
ask, like, yeah, I work at home. Can I write this off as a work expense? And I just want to go, you fucking know what that means? Dude, that's awesome. We should hang out. And then you can tell me what writing this off means.
Well,
It's just taxes, though. Fuck it.
just taxes.
It's just taxes. Whatever. It'll figure itself out. Always has. I haven't been arrested for taxes yet.
I'm gonna check with my tax guy this year to see if I can write off this podcast.
You don't have a
Think
tax
so?
guy, but let's start the show on
I
it.
doubt. All right.
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for this. Age of convenience.
Hell yeah! Hell
All right.
yeah! Happy New Year! New Year!
Mm.
It's official. Dude, we've
It's
made
like
it
one of
through.
those holidays, though. I was checking the other day, and it's one of those holidays where people put like Happy New Year's. I'm like, how many are we having? We're getting a couple. We're gonna double up. Happy New Year's.
Maybe there's being
Daylight
possessive
savings
about it.
time. Daylight savings. Who is daylight saving? Like this is daylight saving, and this someone's name is daylight saving, and this is their time.
Dude, speaking of hot small talk, did you catch that snow outside?
Oh man! Finally,
got-
we can talk about the fucking
I
weather.
know. I got all kinds of
uh,
snow blowers going
Oh
on
yeah,
outside.
you got decent snow. Like you got snow. I got a dusting for like an hour yesterday, then a little bit of sleet, and then it's been mostly 30 degrees and rain. So we don't have the snow, but
We
I
got our
did see
first.
I
Yeah.
like legit snowfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. What's
Nice
it
and
like? Is
crunchy.
it still cold? And like I know we've seen 40 winters, but what's this one like? Is it like neat?
It's like I guess since I've been back, we've only had a few snows that are good. And I like when the snow snows, you know. I've been depressed, I think, in winters because it's just been gray and rainy, and it sucks. I don't really have to travel, so I don't mind a snowfall. I mean, it's gonna get real gross here in the next couple days. Um, but I went for a
Yeah.
walk in it yesterday when it happened. Well, it was magical, Jeff. I tell you, true magic. Because
Stop it.
it
Just
was
stop
fresh.
using Don't use
It was
that
fresh pow.
fucking
It was fresh narpow. I was putting my feet in it, crunching it. But then, dude, on Genesee Street, two foxes running around in the snow. I was like, "What the fuck? Where the
they were
fuck did you
straight
guys come from?"
frolicking. They
Yeah,
were
they were. They're
frolicking
running
in the
around in
magical
yards.
snowfall.
Yeah, it was like two little pups. I was like, that just got lost. I was like, where am I? But I
You
did
confident
enjoy
with
it.
that? You confident with pup?
I'm
You
not
confident?
pup.
Fox pup? A kid? A fox
It was a
cub?
gander of pups.
Okay. I wonder, I don't know. Maybe it's a dog-like creature, so does it just transition
I
into
assume.
pups? Because what's a wolf? Is a wolf a cub or a pup? All
Hmm.
right. We gotta look this
It's a
up.
baby.
What
It's a
is a
toddler.
baby
A little toddler
fox
fox.
called? Toddler fox. Oh, come on. It's
What?
literally saying like it could be cub, pup, or a kit. No, it's something. It says consensus is cub, pup, and kit are all correct terms for a red fox baby. You're lucky. You can continue.
Yeah, I knew it.
Something about snow.
I had it nailed. But it was cool. And two people were walking the other way, like, "Did you see that?" I was like, "I did." Foxes, like, we couldn't tell if that's what that was. And I was like, "Yeah, it was foxes." I was like, "It's crazy,
Were
huh?"
these people between the ages of
Yes.
50 and
Yeah,
65?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Did you
definitely.
see that?
I
Yeah.
did.
We
Did you
could
see me stop and look at him?
They
Yeah, I
didn't even
did. Like,
offer. They
I
didn't even
saw.
make it a conversation by asking you, "Did you like? What did you think you saw?" Or something. Go like, "We didn't know what we saw." It's like that's just a statement. How are you even supposed to react to that? They asked you a question and then just gave you a statement.
And then they asked the classic follow up. Have you ever seen that before? And it's like, no. And I'm sure you guys walk here all the time. This is probably your same walk that you do every day for the last 40 years. You've probably
Right,
never
and it's
seen them.
also like I would have given them an awkward definitive number 3 times, and then just
Yeah.
don't offer anything else 3 times. This would be the fourth.
Hide your cats.
Right. Like,
Um,
wow, I can't believe it. Yeah, well,
this is the
believe
most
it.
exciting thing to happen in town.
Right.
Snow and a
Holy
fox
crap.
on the same day.
Right.
It's a good thing I got my
Oh,
groceries already. I got to go
yeah.
home.
And then you go, I work at Wegmans. They're like, holy shit. They're like, I
You're
shop
like
there
a
as if it's like a
celebrity.
revelation.
I know. Do you have
Yeah, we did
any
not.
New Year's
We have shit with her.
resolutions?
No, that's no. I even if I aspire to make changes, but calling anything a resolution is stupid to me. It's too gimmicky. I can't do it.
Well, how are
I
you going
can't do
to
it.
keep yourself honest if you
That's
don't have a
stupid. That
random
doesn't
date to associate with it?
or a set goal. How do you know if you've achieved a goal? People usually say, "I want to be more." Okay, great. How did you achieve your goal? Like, what or how many percentage more of an immeasurable thing are you? See, my brain's too like task driven and like technical. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Stop it. It's got to make sense. So, yeah, exactly. So I don't have this conversation with me. I would like to make more changes, and it always boils down to just being more open with thoughts and stuff like that. Is talking things out with people, and that's always going to be the thing because that's the biggest thing that I struggle with. So yes, I did on New Year's kind of like remind myself that that's what I want to do better. And so, no, it is not a resolution. No, there's no days I'm marking off a calendar. There's no app that I'm going to share on Facebook that says like 76 days since I started being better about talking things with people. Wow, I am becoming
76 days in
really,
a row.
it's.
I'll believe.
I don't even like how I sound right now. I'm gonna change gears. We're gonna change gears. I'm gonna sound a little bit more positive.
Yeah, do start with one day.
Shut up. God, just shut up. Well, I guess that day's going to have to be tomorrow because I'm already flustered.
Yeah. New tomorrow, new year, new me. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. New week,
And then
new me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know what? Why don't we have resolutions more often? Why don't we have a new
like a
month
monthly resolution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way smaller stuff. Not even less degree, just less relevant and really less involved things that we can try to make a resolution on. Like, you know what? I'm gonna start using more black pens than blue pens. I think blue is pretty unprofessional. So I'm really gonna next month. I'm gonna use what blue pens I have, but next month I'm really gonna go into that realm of black pens.
Yeah, and you have 29 days to do it too, so don't overcommit yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Leap year joke. First one of the year. Let's go.
Oh, good.
Write it off.
Then people that were born on leap year are gonna they'd normally be 40. They're gonna be 10, and that's funny because math, and that's not how dates work.
I'm joking.
I did have some. Well, I do remember with my Texas girlfriend when I moved down there. I think when we were living together one year, she's like, "What do you want to? Let's write our New Year's resolutions on this like whiteboard, or what do you want to do?" And I was like, and I did not participate in it at all. I was like, "No, I'm not going to do it." I don't know if I said that was stupid, but I was like, it's probably stupid to not participate in the relationship.
Right.
That was
I was just gonna say, I'm like, man, I might have done the same thing, but man, knowing full fledged, that is not how you're supposed to address that.
Yeah. I was like, why would I do? Like, I don't want to use it. Kind of the same thing. I don't want to use a date or whatever. And I was like, so I didn't participate. I was like, that should have been the warning sign that I was not an active member in the relationship. I should have been like, should have thought that went through. But I was real smart then. I mean, I'd like to do. What?
I made a lot of good decisions at that point in my life. That's just one of the many.
We've rattled those off. Yeah. I do want to do because December was kind of a while. I mean, between you traveling and the holidays and all that stuff. Got sick. I would say some of my anxiety was higher than it had been in a long time. Probably a lot of it due to getting sick and then having like a little COVID rebound deal. And I think most of my anxieties these days, if they were triggered, come from like health related things. Okay. Like if I don't feel great, I'm like, what's wrong with me? I mean, not that I fall on WebMD it. I don't take it down that because I'm at least know enough to not do that. But my brain can WebMD for itself without all the resources, and it'll just do it. It'll go for it. So I'll just be like, oh, it's cancer. Oh no, my liver is dying. Yeah, my heart has clogged arteries. One lung is collapsed. Like I don't know. I'm just like whatever kind of thing. I don't know.
Like Matt, you sprained your ankle. Relax.
I know. Even though I arguably last year lived the healthiest year I've lived in a long time in terms of like didn't drink for 6 months. Like went back to the gym, got my cardio back up, all that stuff. Yeah, like a lot of good stuff. And I still find a way to be like, you're a piece of shit. I suck. I'm killing myself from the inside. I'm melting. And it's hard to not convince myself of that when I feel shitty or when I'm sick.
I've been there, man. I get it. It's no one can ever make you feel as bad as you can make yourself feel.
I know. But one of the things was like that I told myself last year too, is like, well, I probably should like go to the doctor or something like that. Get these things checked up on so that I don't have any questions, So actually tomorrow I'm going to the doctor for the first time in like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Made an appointment ostensibly from like COVID stuff that wasn't going away. Okay. I was like, but I should get like an annual, just get blood work, see.
I should get that 5-year checkup they always talk about. You mean annual? No, that can't be right.
Yeah. And make sure, give me the old bowling give me the old bowling ball treatment. I'm ready. I'm 40 years old. Treat me like your
Mhm.
French bowling balls. And I don't know. We'll
Jesus
see. We'll
Christ.
see how it goes. I just
Are you gonna just
I don't go that.
like are you gonna own up to it and like when he comes in you're already gonna be like wearing a robe bent over like
Yeah,
spread and
yeah.
you're like I don't know how these procedures work but if movies and TV tells me anything you need to get up here so
No, I'm gonna do on the back, like child's pose, or what do they call it? Your
oh
baby
okay
pose
like
in
holding your
yoga.
feet up
Where you
like a
just, yeah,
baby
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay
Yeah.
that's
Dude, I
good
thought you guys had stirrups here. I must have I must have been in the wrong place. I'll hold them. I'll hold them. You grow
yeah no worries I got him
them. Yeah. But I don't know if that's gonna really. I mean, I guess I like it's like for me. I just got to know what's wrong with me, if there is or if there isn't, or I got to have the numbers. I got to be like, yeah, I know you could do this better, and you're like, thank you. I just need to know
not even
that thing.
not
Yeah,
even that not even that what I want you to do as your primary healthcare provider, what I want you to do is I want you to go in and be like, listen, I know we're going to talk about things I need to do better, but can you give me like one stat that you're like, you know what? This looks good. Like, ask them. Literally be like, I need something that I
yeah,
can go
something to
back
go
with.
on.
Like, I need something positive
Uh,
that in your medical opinion you can say I think everything's okay here. I'll even take okay. I don't even need good, but if you can say like if we rode this for like if we rode this level out for this thing, we can get you to 90. Like that's a comforting thing to hear.
yeah, like did the 6 months of no drinking do any effect for me at all? I gotta
R-
have a win there. It's gotta
Right.
like
He's
yeah,
like,
it
"Oh,
could
good. You
be.
haven't drank in 6 months." You're like, "No, I did not say that.
I
I said I
yeah,
didn't drink for 6 months."
yeah.
Yeah.
The other six
He'll
months
be like, "Well,
continuously, but
yeah.
yeah, just
There were 6 months worth of days in last year that I didn't
yeah.
drink." He's like, "So you
You're
drank
saying I
the
got
other
six
six
months of
months?"
combined
I
sleep.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Basically what happened.
I tallied them up. There was about 182 days that I didn't drink. About.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what to. I mean, I'll be. I mean, I just got to go there, be honest with him. Be honest with the doc, and say, do it, test everything. I need an MRI. I need biopsies.
Yeah,
I need
that's not how
everything.
that works
I
at
gotta
all.
know.
No.
I gotta know.
Biopsies on what? I don't know. Hair samples? What do you
Just
guys
take it.
biopsy these
Yeah,
days?
take it all.
Just
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
chunk of skin wherever it looks prime and biopsy
yeah,
the shit out of it.
yeah,
All right. All
yeah.
right. Yeah. Usually they
So
give
that's
out MRIs. That's usually not a contention for medical
yeah.
providers.
So that's exciting. I also I think well, because I was more anxious during COVID, I felt like I had to start leaning on the look forward to things more, like because I think that's what always helps me is like having something to look forward to. Deal, like having something positive in the future. So
Mhm.
I bought myself like $700 worth of hockey equipment so I can play hockey again. So that's on the way.
Wow.
That's like the
Nice.
budget shit. Hockey stuff is expensive. That's what they don't tell you. Well, that's what parents don't tell you when you're growing up because you don't appreciate it. They're
That's
just like,
correct.
yeah, they're just like, you know how much I
That's one
spent? And
thing.
like, I don't care.
That's one thing I've learned from living in Buffalo, um, and not being a hockey parent, obviously. One thing you never not hear is parents talking about how fucking expensive it is for their kid to play hockey. And in Buffalo, it's actually illegal to not have your child play hockey, I think, because everyone by the age of 4 knows how to skate. So if you go into Buffalo at the city and you don't know how to skate, people like invite you to like ice rinks and you go, I don't know how. And then you get outcasted. But yes, in short, I understand hockey shit is ridiculously expensive. And 700 did sound on this inexpensive side of things.
It
But
does for like a kit, basically, because you
that's
can
an
buy skates
investment
for
cost.
$1,000.
That's an
Dude,
investment
there's
cost because
hockey
that's
sticks that cost $400 that can
a
break.
piece of wood. Right.
Well, now they're like composite, like all this shit, like
True.
graphite and
True.
all that. Supposed to last longer, but there's no guarantee you can't return it. It's like
I've seen hockey sticks break in NHL games. I assume those are good ones.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But I'm excited. Yeah, I found out about kind of an old man league. Some old teammates, a guy I ran into says, yeah, they do have like a Wednesday night league. So I'm get the equipment, get the skates, break them in a little bit, and
Wow.
then look like a real asshole trying to play hockey again.
Sure. Now,
Um,
are you going to tell people that you are a goalie? Is that the plan?
well, they know, but I already told my buddy. I was like, yeah, I'll play. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do the goalie thing. He's like, oh no, we got like young people to do that. And I was like, okay, cool,
Perfect.
sweet.
I'll see you on the defensive line. I'll see you on
Yeah,
third line shift on the D.
I'm more of a two-way player, which means I don't skate very hard to the very opposite ends of the. I just kind of hang out in the middle. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna no checks. Just I'm out there for a skate,
Mhm.
for a recreational skate.
Right. I
Get
just
out
happen to
there,
have a stick
hit
in
the
my
puck a
hand, and
little
people
bit.
rely on me for their own success.
Yeah,
It's a really
yeah,
not a great
yeah,
formula.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll bring the beers. One of those.
There you go.
And I also
I
spent money on
oh
I'm
go.
gonna go to Ithaca. I haven't been to Ithaca since I've been here, so in February,
You flying?
early Feb, there's a
Taking a
flying,
train?
yeah.
Taking a train to
Yeah,
Ithaca?
I'm gonna drive to Syracuse and get the flight to the the
Good.
whatever private
Good.
Ithaca airport. But I mean, it
Mhm.
is like I don't enjoy driving. I probably mentioned it here, but it's like a 45-minute drive. I mean, it's on pretty casual country roads, basically.
It
It's not
is.
like a
It's not
throughway or anything like
intimidating.
that.
Mm-mm.
But that'll be a trip, and I got myself an Airbnb for a couple. I mean, I'm gonna take like a week off, but part of it's gonna be there.
Oh,
Just a couple nights there, and there's a show I want to go see. I want to go see there's gonna be a Band of Horses show um, at the State Theater. So they're one of the the indie darlings of the early
mm-hmm.
2010s who I've kind of wanted to
Mm-hmm.
see. And yeah, I got a little Airbnb that's got like a little fireplace in the back and a little creek behind it near downtown. So walking distance to everything. So maybe take some hikes. We'll see what the weather brings, but maybe do a little fishing,
Yeah.
go to a show. Again, something to
Go to
look forward to.
you can walk gorges. You can walk the
Mm-hmm.
falls. You got to go to the
I'm gonna have
falls, right? You got to go to what we
like
pronounced
Taganic Falls or
growing
one
up,
of those deals. Or
Taganic State Park. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a delightful state park in just off downtown Ithaca with waterfalls and such. So yeah, I that's cool. That's cool.
yeah, when people talk about anxiety, I don't think they talk about enough how much it costs you in the end to make yourself feel better.
Right. Right.
But it's great because it's like, well, I can't die because then I won't get to play hockey or go to this concert, and I've already invested too much in it, so I've got to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
I've
got to
got
get my
to.
money's worth.
Yeah,
I gotta get my money's worth. So I'm gonna live at least past these things.
Yeah,
Good thing
yeah,
hockey is less finite.
yeah. Um, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Did I jump in on you? Who were you gonna add?
Probably it's probably gone by now. Yeah, I gotta really kind of try to do the similar thing. Investing in a physical activity and not be worried about the cost of it. Similarly, about an equal price as your hockey equipment is last year. I really wanted to buy a bike, a hybrid bike, do some road biking. I'd like to do that. We obviously rode bikes as a kid. I'm assuming generally people did as a way of transportation. Um, but neither one of us really like, especially when you move to where your parents live now, neither one of us living in prime neighborhoods where there's a bunch of people around or anything. Like, certainly me, the entire time growing up, it was like you had to bike to get where you need to go before driver's licenses. So I miss I miss that. It'd be a lot less forced workout because it might be something as a mode of, I should go to, I don't know, just go explore. Like, I don't really like driving random places, but I do like exploring. Like, when I run, I don't run a normal route. I switch it up on myself all the time just because I like to keep myself guessing and make stuff fresh. So I think I would do the same with biking. So yeah, it's about $700 for the bike that I was looking at. I actually went to a bike store last year, like got the salesman's information, and then just never went back. So I should
Got him.
probably do that. Oh, dude, I hate working with salespeople. especially if they work on commission. It's the worst feeling in the world because I honestly, a part of me does make me feel bad for wasting their time, because if they get paid based on whether or not I get something, like I hate it. I hate the concept of commission. It drives me insane. I can't handle it in my mindset.
What's it gonna take to make you look like a real goober riding this thing out of here today? Huh?
Exactly. Hey, fat boy. So, you want to get on a bike? Are you sure you're the bike material? Huh? Big guy? Huh? Huh? Here's a donut. Where'd you get
A guy like you couldn't
Oh.
handle this bike, huh? It gives you that one.
Hey, what is that? What is that? What does that mean? You're aggressive.
What? I want a
mean, that's a
bike.
weird sales. That'd be a weird sales pitch to get to convince someone not to buy a bike when you're a bike salesman. But
I think he went home that night. It's like, honey, I think I almost sold a bike today. I swear he's gonna buy it. You don't have to leave me.
this
Please
guy's
don't leave
definitely
me.
calling back.
He's definitely gonna
He
buy
asked-
it. I gave him my
he
number.
asked so many
everything.
questions. I wrote my name on the business card. You know, he asked what hours I work. Yeah. Well, maybe
Goodbye,
he's still
kid
there.
for
I think I
cuisine.
still have
Hello,
his card.
Stofers.
Right? Yep. There was a little kid. There was like a little kid at home, like, Dad, can we go out and play? He's like, sorry, son, you don't have your medicine yet, but I think I'm going to sell this bike and you will be able to get your medicine. Like, now I have that hanging over my head. Little tiny Tim over there. But yeah, maybe I'll buy a bike. So that's the problem I have, though, is that biking now in 2024, biking is so much more dangerous because our drivers are so less aware than they were when we were kids, because people have phones and I don't trust people in cars. So my first inkling is I actually want to ride against traffic because I just don't fucking trust.
You got to make eye contact.
Yeah. And I don't trust that cars aren't suddenly going to veer off and hit me, because I don't trust people. People are shitty at driving, really shitty.
Does your suburb have bike lanes? I mean, Philly might.
Yeah, Jersey's
around there.
Jersey's pretty well. Jersey itself is pretty big on bike lanes. Our main road that I live just off of doesn't have a bike lane. That's definitely the most terrifying road. I would be right, but that's another reason why you have a hybrid. Is sometimes you have to make the right decision and run and bike on the sidewalk, like as opposed to the road. Like I'm a avid person of like bike on the road. That's where bikes should go, because if I'm running on the sidewalk and some derpy derp comes at me with a bike and they don't move, I get pissed. And I've brushed someone's arm, like kind of hoping that they fell off their bike because they wouldn't move out of my way. Like I did that. That happened because fuck you.
Criminal.
Like on a sidewalk, walkers and runners get precedence. Like that's just how it is. If you have to stop biking, you pull over, you wait for me to get by you, and then you proceed. But there are bike lanes. But you know, a bike lane is great. It just makes you slightly less likely to get yelled at by cars because you're like, hey, I am okay to be here. It's not safer. I don't think anyone goes, I was gonna hit this biker, but I forgot. Never mind, there's a bike lane. So like bike lanes only help you not get maybe dirty looks from drivers for taking up the road. That's really the main purpose of a bike lane. It's not a safety thing.
No. I enjoy, I mean, there was a good year in Austin where I biked, maybe more, like to work, to everywhere. I mean, it was a pretty good biking town, but got in great shape from it, obviously. But it was a fun way to explore the city. And you're right, though. The only way to be safe, you just have to assume everybody's going to do the wrong thing at the wrong time all the time. That's how you live.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you live. Nope, doesn't matter if it's a stop sign, doesn't matter if it's a light. It's just, like, what are they actually doing? And that's the only thing you can do. Doesn't mean it's always going to work, but it's the only way to try to stay alive. But it's worth it. What a rush.
That's how I drive. Now that you say that, that's how I drive.
That's true, yeah.
I don't think about what I need to do correctly, because to be honest with you, 99% of it, I'm on autopilot with that. I know I'm a good driver. I won't hear anything of it. But like my focus is, what is every horrible person around me just about to do? Like I'm hyper observant to other cars, because I'm just like, all it takes is one person to be a complete fucking idiot for me to die. And the world is filled with them, and they all somehow got driver's licenses.
Or to just be a minor, like I could tell. Like I was coming to a 4-way stop the other day, and I was clearly would have gone first. It would have been my right of way. Not to mention I was like on the right of this guy, and I could just tell like he was slow. I was like, this guy's just gonna go through, and I just stopped, and he did, and I was like, cool. Like I
Yep.
was like, I just knew it. You can read it. It's like no sweat off my back, except like it wouldn't even have been a bad accident. But then it would have been like we had to stop. I would have had to talk to this guy who's probably just kind of an idiot. That would have
I
been the
have
worst
very
part of
much
it.
had that inkling where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
then I would have to do this. He's probably a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and it's like I just don't really want to engage in that at all.
No.
Yeah, I'd say
In
go
an
for the
act.
bike, man. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I should report back on that.
Winter's a great time to buy a bike too.
I I think it actually is.
Probably is, right?
Yeah, I think it's like October and November are the best times to buy bikes.
That's probably true. Yeah, you got to go before
Um,
spring.
yeah, you definitely have to go before spring. So maybe I should make that my goal is to go go back to the bike shop, look for that guy, and then they'll go him. He hasn't worked here in 20 years. He died back in whoa. He was a ghost. He's a ghost salesman. Ah, classic.
You know what? Speaking of insurance, were you starting to tell me a story the other day when we were hanging about Goldfinger, and then I said, "Don't." Wait, stop! I'm doing something.
Oh yeah.
I was like, no, that sounds like a story you should say for a podcast.
No, stop. I'm doing something.
Jeff Goldfinger story insurance. I don't know why I
Okay.
wrote that down or what that means. What were we talking about?
Yeah, so back long time ago when there was not like fan pages and stuff like that, on old Facebook, old timey Facebook, I befriended Charlie, the guitarist for the band Goldfinger. And so he would show
Of course,
up on
famous
my feed.
for Here in My Bedroom, Superman, Tony Hawk. Everybody would know that.
That's our Goldfinger.
Superman.
There you go. That's
pop
Goldfinger.
punkish,
They are still
90s.
touring alive and well. Actually, oddly enough, for the first time last year, they played a show in LA and Tony Hawk got on stage during Superman.
That's right.
And sang Superman. It was the most perfect
viral
thing for 90s kids. But anyway, Charlie and I were friends on Facebook, and he posted about needing help with a car accident he was involved in. And so I messaged him like, hey man, I'm like, I know a lot about insurance.
Shut up.
I'm like, if you ever need something, let me know. And he messaged me back. He goes, yo, can you give me your cell phone number and I'll call you? And I'm like, okay. So I'm at work. He calls me and I just go outside and he's like, hey man, appreciate you reaching out. So here's my situation. We go over his whole situation. Oddly enough, he's asking about he was injured and is looking to get treatment and didn't know how to go about it. So I kind of coached him. I'm like, all right, this is the process. This is what you do. I'm like, his claim was actually with the company I was working for at the time. I didn't access his claim because that's a big no-no. But what I did is I told him, I'm like, hey, listen, call this person. If they say anything about this, I'm like, ask for the supervisor. I'm like, this is the process you can go. And I'm like, this should work one way or another. So he messaged me about 3-4 weeks later. He was like, hey man, I want to let you know what you told me, was exactly what I needed to hear. I'm like, I got the ball rolling. He's like, and I really appreciate it because like I was lost for about 4 weeks up to when I talked to you. He goes, and then things started rolling in the right direction that day. I'm like, oh man, great to help you out. So this was 2014. So I'm like, dude, that's just a great story I have because I helped a musician that I've liked for so long. I helped him in his regular life. It was the weirdest concept, but it made me feel really good. It did. I'm like, this makes me feel really good. So fast forward to 2019 in a magical event called Skanksgiving, which is held in North Jersey at the Starland Ballroom annually, and it's a ska punk uh, concert, a one-off, and like 6, 7 bands go. Great time, and I find Goldfinger is going, and I had never seen Goldfinger. And while Charlie is on and off with some of the stuff that Goldfinger had done, like he wasn't on a couple albums, he doesn't always tour with them. But I go, hey man, I see that you guys are going to Jersey. I'm like, I live in just outside Philly now, and I'm like, I'm going to get tickets. I'm really excited. Or just wanted to know, are you going to be there? No expectation that he still checks this Facebook or anything. Hey man, yeah, definitely going to be there. Really pumped to get to the East Coast. He's like, hold off on getting tickets though. He's like, I'm going to put you on my guest list. And I'm like, what?
No
And so
way.
I literally went to the show and I got to go, like, didn't have to stand in the ticket line with all the plebes, and went up to like will call, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on an artist's guest list. And she goes, oh, okay, who? I'm like, oh, Charlie Paulson from Goldfinger. And she's like, okay, and what's your name? And I'm like, Jeff Warden. She goes, oh, yep, Jeff plus
Moment of
one.
truth.
And I'm just like, I'm like, this is so weird. And so like I got in, and then, within a day or two after the show, I'm like, hey man, I'm like, thanks again for letting me. He's like, no man, glad you could enjoy the show. Sorry, sorry I was kind of running in the back. I don't know if you were asking for me. He's like, it'd been cool to meet, but blah, blah, blah. I couldn't do it. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, so it was just it's such a cool story that took very long to play out. Started with a weird coincidence, and, proved he's just a normal dude. Charlie is still killing it. And as far as like health wise goes, I mean, that guy, Charlie is, I think, I want to say Charlie is about 51, 52 now. I mean, and you see him on stage, and that guy is taking care of himself as far as ability to jump around and still do properly timed punk jumps and swing his guitar around while playing and stuff. He has an aggressive stage presence, but yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the coolest things I have in my back pocket for connecting with a celebrity that I like. So that's
Hell
the
yeah,
story of
dude.
Charlie and me, and insurance.
It's so funny
and
that
music.
like you're it's such a millennial thing. I mean, whatever. That's just the generation we're in, so that's the age you are now. But if like coming face to face with a celebrity in your line of work now,
Yep.
you've grown up with it now, and you're
Yep.
in a position. That's pretty awesome because
Yeah.
yeah, Goldfinger. Yeah, I remember that's one of the best shows I ever went to. That's how we were talking about it. Because I think in 2002 came to Colgate and played it like our small little venue, just our Hall of Presidents or whatever it was. But it was like pretty epic for me and my buddy Zach and Tozer, doing a lot of penny pickups. All those like the girl. Oh, dude, those are the times.
Now I go to shows and I wonder if they have seating, and I go really early so that I can have the best seating or standing area where I can lean up against like a wall or the sound. Because in the like center of the floor, a lot of times if it's a larger venue, center of the floor towards the back, there's always the sound and visual guys that have a barrier around them. So I'll stand right in front of them, so I have like a leaning board, and I don't get pushed from behind and stuff. Like that's a quality old man move for a concert. Or if there's a balcony, I sit down.
Yeah, I was trying to decide because this theater, the show I want to go to in February, the Band of Horses show, it's in the State Theater, so it's like fun, like an ornate theater setup with the balcony. Right. And I can't decide where to get a seat. Do I want to get like really close up front, or do I want to do like top balcony? Because balcony could probably see better and stay seated. Where it's like if I go on the floor, I might have to stand up for the whole show. Ew. Could you imagine?
Yep.
Who has time for that?
Not
I
this
know.
guy.
I want to sit in the back. This is the cool white guy move at rock shows, is the crossed arms. Impress me. like that guy. I remember seeing those guys at like every show I'd go to in Austin, like with my buddies' bands. So it's the guys that'll sit back. It's like, why are you even at, like, they're not even like,
Right,
don't even look like they're enjoying
looks like
it.
they
But
were forced to come to the show. Like, why are you here then? This
Yeah.
is completely optional for everyone that's here.
I know.
This is optional.
I can't showcase any joy.
Right.
I paid for
I'm
this.
aggressive.
Give me entertainment. Yeah. I am hardcore. These camo cargos are real. These are Marine issued. I did not get these at Old Navy or at Target for sure. Would you care for some scrolldom?
Oh, sure.
I was
why
working
not?
this idea of maybe as a New Year thing for the pod, maybe we get more structure.
Mhm.
I was writing some notes down about it, but I
So
don't know
like
what we'd want to
structured
do with.
T-shirts, because that's out of
Yeah,
business.
ribbed.
I don't think
ribbed
we can get
Dude,
structured,
I was just talking about that with a girl the other
structured
night
T-shirts anymore.
at a bar, and I was like, "Hey, I like."
Oh, so I see you've been working on your game for
I
talking to
have.
women. I was talking about structured T-shirts. Good, go on.
I was like, "Hey, I like your rib tee." She's like, "I know, like, I just love the way it feels." I was like, let me feel it. no,
Oh,
no, I was
what are
like,
you
fuck, I used to
doing?
get together from a little place called Structure. She's like, I know, she's like, I'm such a 90s kid. And I was like, yeah, but you're not. I mean, she was like,
no,
you're
ma'am, you were born in
90s.
You were born
Yeah,
in
you're-
1999. That doesn't count. That's not how this
No,
works.
she's probably born in like, yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. Yeah. I'm a 90s baby, like just literally, technically. I was there for
December
Y2K.
31st, 1999.
Yeah. Then she's like, wow, we both have Vans on too. And I was like, we do. It's like, look at us. Look at us.
No.
Look at
Oh no.
Just a couple kids.
Who'd
Kids.
have thought?
Who'd have thunk?
Not me.
Who'd have thunk? Yeah. It's a couple
Not me.
kids in our ribbed t-shirts and Vans. Then we
Do you
danced
remember
about
where?
it.
Do you remember where
I
you
showed her
were
the
December
floss.
31st, 1999?
Dia Darestein's parents.
You bet.
Her house.
You bet.
For the Y2K. The Y2K extravaganza.
Uh-huh.
What a way to ring it in.
I guess her dad shut off the lights and thought he like pranked
Is that
everyone.
what it was?
And shut off the lights. Yeah. And when the ball dropped, he shut off the lights.
What a rascal.
Yep. Silly goose. And then we got to watch No Doubt perform It's the End of the World. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, dude. No Doubt was the top of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say
What?
some kind of structure. Scrolldom would definitely be in there.
Sure. Okay. I'm in. Maybe we should
kind of thought I wanted to maybe do this thing too, like
outside the pod, about pod things.
Every week, maybe we do something called if we had won the lottery, what we'd spend our money on this week.
Okay.
The reason I thought about that was because you know how there's like the NIL in college football, and players can just get money, and like probably like University of Texas is going to pay like $4 million for some kid to come play there or whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
Like if I was a lottery winner, a billionaire, I would just pay for a college to have, but I would want to have like, you know how colleges or people can give to like colleges, like this is the Matt Jones Foundational Biological Wing for study on birds. You know, if you give enough money, like a college to do that. I want to do that for Texas and be like, this is the Matt Jones Endowment for the fastest legs and most flexible of humanity and the longest air yards.
Just
award
name it
or something like that, just for a quarter. Yeah, just like because just how I would sponsor the athletes for the school.
Or
just
do it. No, but it's a college, so do it with poor grammar, like the Matt Jones Award for most goodest. Really, 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 really good player.
yeah. The arm of Matt Jones, just and make it be the arm of Matt Jones Award. Yeah, the speed of Matt Jones Award.
But it has to be a awkwardly large trophy, and it has to just be of your face.
Yeah,
like
I
something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I
This is
don't
a
know why
big
nobody's doing that
presentation.
yet.
Yeah.
You probably got to put it through some. It's probably some kind of legal channels, but I don't know.
Because
You
I
figure if people give money for the libraries and
no, there's
stuff.
no legal channels. It's college football. Everything can be whored out. That's the beauty of college football.
That's true. I know it is.
But I just don't think billionaires, either they're not that funny or they just don't stop and take a second to make a really stupid decision that no one else in the world is willing to make. Like, I don't think
know.
Jeff Bezos is funny. I bet if I met him, I'd be like, you're kind of a tool. Like, you're not.
It's like they
funny.
never have enough.
Yep.
All right.
Got it.
I'm gonna go to the top. Maybe the middle. You got it? Go ahead.
Oh wow, middle. Wow, how daring. All right. It's oh boy. Justin Stosey. Justin Stosey, also known as Big Stos, also known as French Toast, is a fraternity brother of mine that I went to Oswego with. And Stosey was, the thing about Justin is that he was a good guy, and when he joined the fraternity, he was always really excited to talk, and was really pumped about everything, wanted to hang out. But he was an athletic kid, good looking kid, really had a decent amount going for him, but that kid had zero confidence. And there's this kind of ongoing thing with all this, like, why do girls hate me? Why don't girls like me? And like, it was probably that was the reason. Because he would get really upset about a lot of things, and it was kind of like, dude, you got a lot going for you. Like, it's okay to be content with that and stop. Like, I don't know if he just had some of his own stuff that he was dealing with, but I'm trying to think of a specific Stosey story that I can share. It's got to be this. So one time I went to Long Island, and I went on a trip with a couple friends. Our friend Steve that we just saw. Steve was one of them, and then another one of our fraternity brothers, Matt Wilson. And we were like, all right, on New Year's Day, we're going to leave Oswego and we're going to go visit our friend Brian in Long Island. So we get to Long Island and we try calling Brian, and he didn't answer his phone the entire time. And so we're in Long Island and we're like, so now what do we do? The guy we're supposed to be staying with isn't answering his phone. We're in Long Island. So we kind of do a bait and switch, and we call a couple other bars and we're like, hey, we're in Long Island. Do you guys want to get dinner? So we get dinner. We go, hey, by the way, we're staying with Brian Mead and he's not answering our phone. Who can put us up for the night? So we get someone to volunteer their parents' house to put us up for a night. We go there. We only could stay the one night, so we're kicked out of that house. And then we tried staying with our buddy Stosey. So he's like, all right, we can go to my dad's house, but we got to probably be really quiet because like my stepmom's a bitch, and she doesn't like me and I don't like her. And I'm like, oh, good. So we go to their we go to their front porch to hang out. Like, it's an enclosed porch. And we meet his dad. His dad seems like a nice guy. And his mom like says something like really like short and abrupt when we came in. Like, not even acting like I'll play nice, but I'm actually a bitch inside. Like, she was verifying his concerns right off the bat. And we had done nothing yet. So after a little bit of like, sounds like arguing between his dad and his stepmom, we're sitting outside in the front porch. There's a piano on the front porch, and someone, I don't remember who, but someone's sitting on the piano bench. His stepbrother that we now realize exists.
A porch piano bench.
Well, there's a piano too.
Oh, okay.
He comes into the front porch and he goes, you can't sit on that. And like, he gets really mad. And we're like, what? And he's like, you can't sit on the piano bench. And we're like,
So I think you can leave sketch.
All right. Like, wow, this is really terrifying. This kid is really upset about us sitting on the piano bench, as if like someone's going to come and kick his ass because we're sitting on the piano bench. So Justin's like, all right, I guess we can't sit on the piano bench. My stepmom's going to freak out or whatever. So we hang out and stuff, and we're like, what is this? And we're like kind of laughing about this. And then all of a sudden, like maybe an hour into it later, he gets up, Justin leaves, comes back, comes in later, and he's like, all right, we're gonna have to go, guys. We gotta go. And I'm like, why? He's like, my stepmom's threatening to call the cops on us because we're being too loud. I'm like, what? I'm like, the stepmom who hasn't said anything to us is now telling you that she's gonna call the cops to come to her own house where you also live because we're being slightly too loud. I'm like, I kind of want to stay because I want to hear what the cops say about this because they're going to be very confused.
Yeah.
So like, we end up leaving, and spoiler alert, after 3 transient nights of sleeping in other places, we finally get a hold of the one guy who was supposed to put us up. It took 3 days and like in Long Island to finally get a hold of him, but that would probably be my biggest thing with Stosine. So maybe his stepmother was the one that put him in a scenario where he thinks that he's always doing wrong and people don't like him because his stepmom was a real bitch. So if Stosie's stepmom is listening, you are very rude because of how you treated us 20 years ago. So that's Justin Stosie.
That's a lot different.
I haven't seen or
man.
talked to him in probably, I'd say 6-7 years, easy.
Well, maybe he's grown.
Maybe.
I landed on somebody named Patience. Patience P. Pastor. I don't remember if her last name was Pastor or if her first name was really Patience. I think it was. But she was one of our when Brett and I lived in our most precarious apartment where like both of our scooters got stolen and where I saw people having sex in the parking lot, where the mailroom got robbed, all that kind of fun stuff. It was a changing neighborhood. We were there to make it better. But they lived right next door to us. Patience and her girlfriend Kayla, who I became more friendly with. But they were awesome. They were 2 babes, and just super fun and weed dealers. So it was like he just like
sure.
It was the best thing because like usually if we had to go buy weed somewhere or something like that, you have to drive somewhere and then you'd smoke and then be like, I don't want to drive now. Like, fuck, I can't go. So you just go walk next door, go hang out. The only downside is they had this other roommate who worked with Brett actually for a little bit. She had a ferret and it smelled really bad because we had to like watch it one time and that was pretty terrible. But Patience, I just remember going over there and watching like Mr. Robot or like really old stupid movies and just being out of my mind. And then they broke up, unfortunately. I think it got kind of messy. But I ended up being better friends with Kayla, her girlfriend. And Kayla and I actually, if you go on this, if you're watching this on YouTube, one of the first couple of videos is a show called Mash It, which Kayla and I did, where the idea was we would just combine foods together. Like, so we put like 30 different food items in a bowl, like names of them from different awesome places, and we draw 2. And then whichever 2 we got, we had to put them together and taste test them. So we only got through 2 episodes, but it was pretty fun. Actually, I look back and watch them and I really enjoyed them. So we would do like a segment of we'd mash something at home, some random thing. And then at the end, we'd do like s'mores. And it was just kind of silly. There was a little GoPro camera in there too for the drive to make it fun. This kind of dumb. It's one of my favorite creative accomplishments that I've ever done is do this thing called Mash It.
That's what I hang my hat on.
I would like to do it here. Yeah, there's not really a lot of options here to do it, but I would like to do it again. But yeah, they were 2 fun girls, and just I remember a lot of not I don't remember a lot, I guess, because it involved a lot of weed, I guess, at that time in our lives. It was just like one of
I'll
those
tell you,
deals.
I had so many good memories with my weed dealers,
Uh,
but they all escaped me.
yeah,
Yeah, that's about right on par.
I remember their cat freaked out when she was on my lap once and scratched me. That was fun. But just having a pantry filled with snacks that were probably expired all the time, kind of thing. A lot of candles. I think a lot of crystals, a lot of stuff like that around the house. But yeah, they were cool. They were like, to me, I guess that kind of defines sort of an Austin experience, just like random folks that you run into that you have similar sensibilities with, even though you're like completely different people. Um, but it was fun. I liked it. At the arrangement, that's what our apartment was called, the arrangement. And when they wanted to get really fancy, they started calling it the array. That's when
Wow.
they were like, we're gonna jack up the rent here. Now that less people are getting robbed here, we put in an extra floodlight, so you guys are gonna be way safer. Now it's called the array. Joy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, Patience and Kayla. They were fun. Well, every time I do one of these, someone reminds me of something else that I totally forgot about the story. So
Nice.
that's as much as I can remember right now, guys. Hey
It's
guys,
good enough.
you guys know me. Yeah. Any recommendation? How about that? We haven't done a hot wreck in a while.
Oh, a hot wreck. Let's see. Hot wreck. My brain always goes to like. Actually, you know what? Someone at work, because of our downtime in the training department, we had a virtual music hour where a bunch of people just gathered and listened to a Spotify playlist, and we were all recommending stuff to put on the playlist, and we just listened to it virtually. And someone did suggest something that I really enjoyed, and it seems to be he's all instrumental. And this artist is called Corey and the Wong Notes. Was the album, and the guy's name is Corey Wong. And the
Corey and the
song was
Wong Notes. That's such
yeah,
a great name.
Corey and the Wong Notes. That's the album, 2021 album by Corey Wong. And the song I specifically was introduced to was called Merci, Merci. And it was a really good no vocals song, like entirely instrumental. And it's got like a big band flair to it, but it's like like big band jazz, funk. So horns, elaborate splashing of cymbals and stuff like that, and just like really interesting bass line driven beats. But I really enjoyed it, and doing stuff like that it always reminds you, it's like, man, as much as you hop in the car and you instinctively put on the same fucking playlists and shit that you love what you love, you forget that there's a band out there that probably would blow your mind that you would fall in love with that you might never come across. And that's kind of inspiring, but also depressing. So my recommendation is Corey Wong. Start off how I started off with the song Merci, featured on Corey and the Wong Notes.
I've been better. I feel like I've been better about that lately. If I go through Spotify and just let it make me a playlist, I've been better about liking songs that I have no idea who they are, so it stays on my playlist. So now I really enjoy going to my liked music playlist because it's all random stuff. I'm like, geez, I'm glad I like that. I'm glad I actively took an involvement in my musical taste instead of just letting it wash over me. I will recommend. I guess because I watched a lot of it, especially when I was ill, was Fargo, the TV show.
Okay.
Which I think I had heard was always good.
It.
But I'm just about done with the third season. You have watched it?
I have not. No. I've seen obviously Fargo the movie, but I've never seen the show.
Great movie, yeah. So the show seems to have that flair to it where it's like it's not like a comedy, but there is silliness in it. But
if you can describe a Coen Brothers movie to me, I'd love to understand it, because I have no idea how to relay what a Coen Brothers movie is.
Right. That's the best way to say it. It's just like a Coen Brothers. I think they hold true to that idea, but it's very
Yeah.
violent. There's murders, and it's like in each of the seasons so far, you already know what happened, but it's like fun watching everybody else around try to figure it out and put it together, whether it's law enforcement or the people who
Okay.
are involved. Stuff always goes wrong in a violent manner, and it's always like a series of missteps. But each season's different so far. They take place in different time periods, but there's like some layer of connectivity to each one so far. But they also get like it might be like a little bit like an American Horror Story deal, where each one could be its own kind of story. You don't need to see the others.
Yeah.
So they get like famous people. Like the third season has like Ewan McGregor is in it. I think whatever the second season had like Kirsten Dunst. I think it's seen previews like John Hamm's in the new one, so they like just get a new cast of characters. But yeah, it's a great watch if you want something. It's like just intense enough where it's gripping, but not too. It's not all the way like Breaking Bad intense, where it's like fuck. I just need like I can only watch one of those. It's like you can definitely binge off a couple, but I like it. He likes it. But yeah, I'd give it a check. You know,
Okay.
if you like
I started
violence, there's
Reacher.
blood.
I started Reacher, but I'll be done with that soon. There's not much going on with that.
Yeah, who's a better reacher, Tom Cruise or a guy who's actually gigantic, and like a beast?
Right? Yeah. The story's supposed to revolve around a large army man, and they're like, you know what we need to cast? Tom Cruise. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You literally purposely casted a very small man. Arguably the smallest, like the smallest A-lister in Hollywood. You decided, like, other than Peter Dinklage, you literally got the smallest guy.
He'll do his own stunts.
Cool. He's like 60. He should not do his own stunts.
60, and he has a tooth in the middle of his mouth. You'll
Yep.
never unsee it once you see it.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Look at
I
him
hope
smile.
someone listening to this goes, what the hell is he talking about? Oh,
Never
you'll see.
seen that.
You'll see.
Yeah, look up Tom Cruise smiling and see his tooth in the middle of his mouth, right in the middle.
Go down,
there. Like,
draw a line down from the tip of his nose, and there'll be nothing but one tooth, as opposed to a space between.
Yeah.
Teeth. All right.
Cool.
Well,
all right.
Just about at that 30, 40 minute mark. So
Yeah. We're off and running. I mean, the podcast isn't officially a year old yet, but we're
it's
almost
close.
there.
I don't even know what our anniversary date is.
I don't know. I guess this technically
January.
would be episode 50.
Okay.
If we count the best of as 49, the greatest hits.
So many hits.
The first clips I put into an hour.
But yeah, I like having a format. I think the people want and deserve a format.
All right.
So
Well, I'll send you some ideas this week about
Okay.
structure, and then you think of some ideas.
Okay,
I'll
I don't
put
know
together.
why
If
we
we
keep
put like
bringing
5 or 6 things, then we can make like music segues.
That's true.
We'll get this. We'll get this
That's
thing
true.
going. Let's get this thing. Yeah. Let's start this engine up. Let's get this pod going. This thing's gonna be a deal.
Call.
All
right.
And here's another segment. It's called "Play the End Title Track,"
which we are not that good at lately.
Which still doesn't work.
Yeah, all right. New year, new me. New year, new pod.
Yep, it's not working. We'll add it in post.
You hear that? We'll add it in post. We'll add it in post corner store. Rest
more than me.
Daddy worked hard for this.
Its entirety.
Bleed-oo-doo-dee.
'Cause my attention
It's like nobody's playing music. No, I should definitely not.